council meeting of the village of Armada will now come to order, please. Everyone stand for the pledge of allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call roll, please.
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Conan.
Here.
Bullock.
Here.
Baylor.
Here.
Sutts.
Here.
Pelkey.
Here.
Approval of the agenda. What is the council's wishes, please?
Mr. President, I'll move the agenda be accepted as presented. Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. At this time, the floor is opened up to citizen comment. You'll have 3 minutes. State your name for the record, and you can continue now. Anyone in the audience want to address the board? If not, we're going to go to the presentations. We have Amoresco, which is a LED lighting program. And we have the young lady here representing that company. Michelle, did you want to address something first?
Well, just because we had spoken to ERC, Energy Reduction Coalition. They came in and gave a presentation. I believe Amoresco cold called here. I called at the same time. So Becky and I met with Krista, and I just thought that you should hear what their company does as opposed to what ERC does. I mean, it's the same concept. It's just they just have different ways of doing it and different benefits. So I asked Krista to come and talk to the board. We're just going to do a quick presentation. You know, if you have questions, you can ask. If not, you know, we can bring her back like we did ERC if anybody has any further questions. So
Sure.
I'll turn the floor over to Krista Nesbitt.
Thank you. Well, good evening. My name is Kristen Nesbitt. I'm the account executive for Amoresco for the state of Michigan. So I'm happy to be here. I met with Michelle in March, early March, and we talked about kind of what you were presented from Energy Reduction Coalition, and then we talked about kind of what Amoresco is really good at doing. Amoresco is an energy solutions company, so we are not just a lighting company, we are not just a solar company, a renewables company, but we help municipalities kind of take a look at where they're spending money on energy, and we help them cut through their deferred maintenance by incorporating green technologies throughout all of their buildings, and then we guarantee the savings. So we would look at, and granted, I don't know how much you spend on your utilities annually. I do not know what buildings would be potentially looked at. I do not know what your deferred maintenance looks like. There's a lot of things that we just didn't, we didn't get that information.
We haven't gotten that far yet, just because we really hadn't gotten that far with ERC.
Right.
I didn't know how comparable or how relatable that would be if they had more information than they did. So we're kind of just at the same spot with both of them.
The difference is, if you were to do, so an energy savings performance contract, are you all familiar with that? Basically, we help you create capital, so we help you cut through your deferred maintenance by incorporating energy efficient measures, and we guarantee the savings. 100% of the savings stay with the village. We also go after all of the incentives through DTE and consumers, and that also all 100% stays with the village. So we get paid like a general contractor would. We like to do the projects. So how an energy savings performance contract really works is I would work with probably your finance and your facilities department. They would help me understand, and my engineers understand what the issues are. Maybe there's a roof that needs to be replaced, a parking lot that needs to be replaced, a boiler that's given them trouble so much, but you just don't have the capital to cover those things. Well, lighting is very low-hanging fruit. So if we were to upgrade all of your lighting to LED, we're able to grab those savings, right? and apply those savings to the new roof, the new parking lot, whatever else you need to do. So we help create that capital using the savings. So you're able to finance a really great project that encompasses a lot of different items and finance that using the savings from things like lighting, building controls, renewables like solar, geothermal, things like that.
That was the key difference between them and ERC. That's, so.
You own everything. It's, we would help you kind of make sure if you needed to have financing, we would, get you the best rate. We don't lend any money, but we can help you. We have a finance department that would help you do that. But the difference, I think, mainly is you still own everything. It's still yours, and I'm not trying to talk bad about them. I mean,
Right.
whatever they have to offer probably is fantastic. I'm not really familiar with what they do, but this is a totally different option for you that would be all encompassing for your infrastructure.
And I did call ERC after we met with her to ask that specific question about
Do they provide that?
owning the equipment once it's put in, and she's right, we don't. But with them, we do.
Right. So what questions do you have for me? I know that
Open it
was
to the floor.
very high level.
Yeah.
Well, so it's, you do this strictly for a fee or some type of reimbursement, but you say everything that happens that we get, that we benefit from directly, just you get at the end of it, you just get a straight fee for the service. Whatever
So,
service you
For the
provide.
contract.
so how it would work out is our engineers, first of all, we need to take a look at your bills. So we need to know what your kilowatt hour rate is, what your therm rate is, how much energy are you actually using. And we can typically, right off the top, tell you that just based on your lighting and what you're using currently, you're probably gonna save 20%. That's a really easy kind of baseline number. If we were only doing lighting, you're gonna save, based on what you're using, going to LED, probably over 50%. But what we're really good at is incorporating a lot of different, technologies to help you. And I don't know what your deferred maintenance looks like. I don't know what is keeping up your facilities people at night. So that's something that we would definitely need to dive into. But what we would do is work with your facilities people, come through, do a walkthrough of all your buildings, get a better understanding of how much energy you're really using every year, and go from there. See what kind of energy conservation measures look good to incorporate into your infrastructure. And that the nice thing is, once we go to contract, we have to put on an RFP for the service. Okay, so an RFP goes out, you have to, get them back from companies, ESCOs, similar to Ameresco. The board would have to decide who you want to partner with. From there, that's when you dive in and the ESCO would be your partner and do the project. The big benefit to working with an energy services company or an ESCO is that all of the risk is on the ESCO, it's not on the village. So once we decide what the project scope is and what the guaranteed savings look like, that's up to us. And if we don't achieve those savings for you, we write you a check. So it's a huge benefit if you're limited with your capital budget, but you do have a lot of room for improvement. It's a really great option.
I just had a question. One thing that with ERC is, our relationship with them would have been long-term. I think it was as much as maybe like 30 years, which was really kind of bizarre. It was hard for me to wrap my arms around it. So in this situation, what would be, I'm thinking of the treatment plant. So let's say that's a classic deferred maintenance
Wastewater treatment plants.
issue.
Yeah.
We got roofs, we got all this deferred maintenance at that one structure. So could you just maybe walk us through, we do our lighting, right?
Yep.
And then based on that 20% or 25% savings, then how does that, I'm trying to figure out how that helps our treatment plant with some of its deferred maintenance.
Sure, okay. So what we do is, let's say we understand that you spend, just an easy number, $10,000 on utilities annually. We're gonna save you $2,000 of that $10,000. If you're gonna finance a project over 10 years, that's $20,000 that you have in hand to do a project. So Armada, you have got to finance the project. You have to have funding to get this done.
Right.
We incorporate all of these upgrades throughout your buildings, through your wastewater treatment plant, but basically we're stuck at a 20 grand project size, which is honestly pretty small for us. This would kind of be out of our comfort zone as far as size, but we can obviously work through that. But from there, so you finance this project, we guarantee the savings that you're going to achieve. So we do this project within a few months, so you're now achieving the savings, right? And you have a debt service payment that you need to pay. So let's say your debt service payment is, I don't know, twice a year, $500. Your savings will be over that debt service payment. So you're gonna be coming out on top. So you're able to replace that roof and, do whatever you need to do with the wastewater treatment plant with this $20,000 that we're also going to guarantee as savings that you're gonna start achieving once the project is complete. Does that clarify?
Yeah, so I just want to make sure, because, municipalities, we can't always borrow money easy. There's all these, the state tells us how we can borrow,
Sure.
So have you had any municipal clients that have done this and it passes all of our requirements with the state of Michigan for borrowing money and, arranging that financial arrangement?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, and we will help you. And it also doesn't have to come from one fund. A portion could come from general fund if you have a budget, a portion could come from operations and maintenance, and if you have a budget 5 years out that you know that you're not gonna have to deal with this boiler or whatever it is, then you can save that money, you can pull that forward too. Of course, you can go out for a bond, or millage increase, don't shoot me.
Step back.
Hey, listen, I don't suggest going to the public if you can avoid it, right? I mean, if this is something that you can manage in-house and with cash, do that, always.
And
But
those
the
are-
benefit is,
I just have,
we
I'm
guarantee
sorry,
the savings.
one more
Go ahead.
question then. So do the improvements that we would do at the treatment plant, do those have to be like energy
Yes.
related?
yeah.
Okay, so do you have any examples like of?
Of wastewater treatment plants?
Well, is it like
Windows.
better insulation, roofing,
Yeah.
windows?
Sure, yep.
Yeah.
Anything that will, typically we're looking at lighting and building controls and some renewables if solar makes sense, depending on what your kilowatt hour rate is. But I can definitely get you some specific examples of wastewater treatment plants, because I know we've done a lot throughout the US.
Okay. And do you have a list of municipalities that you have helped and what projects you've done for
Sure,
them?
absolutely, yep,
I mean, if we could see some of those, I wouldn't mind seeing what they did and
yep,
maybe some of the savings.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a question. You said that you worked with like DTE and Consumers Power. Do you also work with Southeastern Michigan Gas?
Yes,
Because they're the ones that have our natural gas.
okay, great.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if they offer any incentives, but we definitely look,
No.
okay. Well, we would definitely look into it and see if there's anything that is
Kind
available.
of twist their arm a little bit.
I know.
Put her on, she's good.
Yeah.
I imagine it's a variable, but you said that you guarantee savings, but it can't be forever. You've got to have a shelf life of
Sure,
time that you
great
guarantee
question.
those, and then
Yeah.
all bets are off. So what
So-
generally?
We do have a measurement verification period, so we would come back after the project is complete, work with you, make sure that you're actually achieving the savings we told you that you would. That's up to you. Typically, the first couple of years are included in the contract,
Mhm.
and then going forward, it'll be, I don't know, a fee for the measurement verification report and services, and that's very important to our business, but really it's up to the client. We see it quite a bit. In fact, at Montcalm Community College, we did a project there in 2012. They only did measurement and verification in 13 and 14 because they were really happy with the results. So they said, we're good, we don't need to spend the extra thousands of dollars annually to get this report. And so, God bless them. I had a meeting with them last week. They're still super happy with the project, and so. But I do have references as well if you're interested in calling around. I mean, please feel free, reach out.
How long has your company been doing this?
Since 2000,
2000?
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're an independent company. We do not make anything. So, similar, there's a lot of companies out there that are ESCOs that do make things, your Honeywell, your Johnson Controls, your Trim, things like that. We don't push anything down your throat. If you don't need new controls, all right, don't get new controls. But if it's something that's gonna save you some money and your team can really benefit from it, we're definitely gonna lay out the option and let you know what's available.
Now, in regards to like LED lighting, that's really come on in the last couple of years.
Yes.
So maybe you don't have a lot of history of how long things will last. I mean, how long have you been doing LED lighting?
We probably wouldn't go T8. I think the prices really came down in about 2016.
Okay.
So, for LEDs, yeah. So now, I mean, that's the only way to
I mean,
go.
I just wonder how long,
Yeah, we
they say they last a certain amount of time, but
Depends on
they
the
said that
burn.
with the previous
Right,
renditions, and I work in an apartment complex, and they said these lights, we have them on the hallways for, they're 24/7, they're on.
yeah.
They're supposed to be 5-year lights. I was changing lights after 1 year. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a warranty issue. I mean, we only will use credible products because that's our reputation. So you're gonna make sure that you have probably a 10-year warranty on lighting products.
okay.
And we can help you manage through those as well.
So, the reason for, like I said, for bringing Kristen was because, after we met with her, it's like that, it's the same concept, it's just a different way of going about it. I was happy with the thought that we own our equipment once you do it, that's huge. And I like that we can apply our own savings. The other way, we were not.
Right.
So,
I guess I would like to just see some paperwork from some other
Yeah.
municipalities,
Sure.
and some of the things you've done for them, and
Yeah,
which is
So if
what
we
we
wanted to
did with
call somebody,
ERC,
we
we'll do
could.
the same. You
Yeah,
know, if
absolutely.
you just email me that, we'll bring it to the table just for them to look at prior to, the next meeting.
sure, happy to do that.
Okay.
But I can tell you, in Michigan, typically it's been lighting controls. We did solar at the Michigan Agency for Energy. I think this is a PACE district, and that's an option for financing for energy conservation upgrades. So there's some financing options for you that you might not know about currently.
Maybe
And-
there's some grants.
And honestly, I just don't know anything about what your spend is, what
Right,
your issues are.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have to do some upfront, just even talking about, okay,
Right.
where would the funding come from? What would you guys want to dive into?
Yeah, before we're even ready to go
Right.
totally forward, that would be the next step
Right.
after you guys look.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
offhand, I mean, just the street lighting alone.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the street lighting is
Yeah.
killing us.
I mean,
Yeah.
just to at least do that.
Yeah,
we just did the Chicago street lighting project.
Okay.
So we've done really big projects, we've done smaller projects,
Right,
so,
right.
we're
Do you
not.
find in the smaller ones, though, that you get to a point and there's nothing in it for you guys, and you just kind of say, hey,
Sometimes, yeah, absolutely, sometimes.
is there a cost to us
No.
to get to that point?
So there will be, once we're selected through RFP, we'll put together a project development agreement. There will be a breakage fee. So because we're gonna put engineering into it, we're gonna put hours into it. So at that point, that's the only time. Once you agree upon what the scope of work is, what we're looking at here, and you sign on the dotted line, okay, now you're in the hook for some money.
Right.
Until that point, no.
yeah.
It's all, like I said, I mean, we manage, this is a cost of business. My
Right.
husband said, why do you have to leave at 6 o'clock at night? I'm like,
That's business.
Probably not
Good
liking
answer.
it very much.
Yeah, but I said we wouldn't keep you here really.
I said, it's a date, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
No, I told him, you'll be able to see I really was there.
We'll verify it. Do you want me to stamp?
Yeah,
something?
thanks. No, come on,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. So if you don't have anything else, I mean, we'll just wait for you to email me some stuff.
I will.
And,
Sure.
again, this is the same process we took with the RC. If they wouldn't have cold called me, I wouldn't even have looked any further. I didn't realize there were other companies that did it.
I just like the
So-
fact that we own it from the get-go.
Yeah, me too.
We're not
Yeah,
doing
me
some
too.
payoff.
Yeah,
That's exactly why she's here.
And you're not married to me for 30 years,
Right,
right? So
right.
it's not really a full mortgage, like,
Right.
the financing is up to you. If you have the cash, okay, let's pay cash.
Right.
The risk and the guaranteed savings are still there, it's all on Amoresco.
Mhm.
But you reap the benefits. So it's a really good option if you're strapped for capital.
Sounds like a win-win situation.
It is.
Well, and if you
It
look
really
at this
is.
stuff and I bring it back to the council table and they say, go ahead, let's move forward with, having you in, look at the bills, look at
Yeah.
the buildings and stuff like that, then we can just, move forward after you guys, we'll make some phone calls, we'll check the references, we'll check the projects and stuff and, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Nice meeting you all.
Thank you.
Question. Coming with owning all this state-of-the-art equipment puts the responsibility on us for maintenance and upkeep.
Absolutely, it does.
So training for our people and stuff,
100% included, yes,
all included,
yes. That will be do you work here?
no?
Okay, well, your maintenance people will be very involved, and their opinion matters too. I mean, if they're like, hey, we can manage a thermostat, like, we don't need these fancy building controls, I don't need to access them from my phone. Okay,
Yeah, no, they don't.
okay, well, good, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
their input is very important
Yeah.
when putting together a project scope, and we're not just gonna come in and
force it.
steamroll something
Right.
that they're not going to keep up with. And we're also not gonna tell you to turn off the lights when you need them on.
Right,
You'll see that a lot.
right.
We're very realistic with the baselines. We understand that you need to run a business, and keep a comfortable working environment for everybody. So, I'd love the chance to work with you. That'd be great.
Well, thank you,
Well,
Chris.
thank you for coming, Chris.
Thank you all so much.
And you have a safe trip back.
Thank you. I'm not too far. I live in Oxford.
Oh.
So don't pay attention to my car, just, you know.
Yeah.
There's an office in Grand Rapids. We're gonna be moving to, the Detroit area. I'm not sure where yet, but
All right, well, have a safe trip back.
thank you all.
Thank you.
Right, thanks again.
Thank you.
See you later.
Next is our administrative reports. The building department report is in your packet. And next is the liaison reports. Is any liaison?
I just wanted to point, I think I gave you guys copies of the MML Workers' Comp Fund. We received an award for our loss control. Funds loss control awards are given to members with outstanding dedication to employee health and safety, as reflected in exceptionally low and improved workers' compensation experience modification factors out of 141 funds in Category 5. Annual premiums of $5,001 to $15,000. The village of Armada achieved one of the 6 lowest modification factors for the policy year, which helps our rates. So, just, yep.
Good job, right.
Very good.
All right, so,
No,
no.
you know what? Yep. Myra?
What's that?
Can you go back and,
We need to do the agenda. Joe's got additions onto the agenda.
All right, well,
How do we do that, Jeff? Do we go back and just?
Yeah, so, what I recommend we do, rather than go back, let's wait till we finish, item H,
Mhm.
and then we'll just move to amend the agenda at that point
Okay,
to add those 2 items.
okay,
Because if we do it now, it's, you know,
okay.
but just remember when we get to there,
Yeah, well.
we do it. so.
all right, good, very good. So now we're gonna go to the consent agenda. You have it all printed out. I'm not gonna read it, so, what is the council?
I do have one correction to one of the special event permit applications. The motion for the parade says a 4-corner. Obviously, that needs to be parade. I know it's not that big of a deal, but just so everybody knows, it's supposed to be the Memorial Day parade on May 27th.
Yeah.
And Ross had a correction of the minutes, so we're gonna pull those.
do I have to correct on the application, or do I need to change it?
No, you're fine, it was me.
Okay.
Mr. President, I'll move the consent agenda to be accepted as presented.
No, amended.
Amended.
I'm sorry.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
So your minutes will be agenda item I, okay?
H.I. yes. Next is old business, which is a sewer plant update. Steve, this is your department.
Okay, things are moving along, we're in compliance. We have one more thing he's gonna bring. He's got his, they have oven down there that is part of their test procedure, and it's on shaky grounds. He's getting some quotes to replace it, and he's got a couple, he needs to get a couple more. So probably the next meeting, I'll be bringing that to you.
Is that to fix it or to replace it?
To replace it, looks like, because he got some quotes on fixing, and as far as they can tell, this is of original equipment to the plant. It's over 30 years old. And to put money into it at this point, I would just soon get new, but I will know more later, and I'll get you the paperwork as it comes in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Next is the West Main Street update. Mr. Ballard, Street Administrator, please.
Thank you. We met on May the 7th of 2019 here with Gus, the contractor, and the on-site engineer. I had some concerns that were brought to me by the police department. The blinkers on the, I guess, class 1 barricades, they were out, so we redid those. We put new batteries in those. That was good. We're waiting for Semco to get a hold of our guys and verify the depth of their 6-inch gas line underneath the culvert before they'll dig. There's been a few traffic problems down there, but I think they're coming to a halt. Mailboxes will be put in because they're going to be starting our curb and gutter and stuff like that very soon.
They're gonna put it in a bank?
Yeah, they're going to put it in a bank. Because I
Is it
didn't put in.
called
I didn't put in. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to be putting in a bank up to the east end of the project. It's going to be 2 to 3 weeks before curb and gutter is installed. It's going to be done in the next 2 weeks. Sidewalks and DOG, they have to remove some of the sidewalks because they're all bunched up and so they're going to be replacing that. The culvert, they said at the meeting that they're going to do it, it should take us in 3 days, so it'll be a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that'll be down. And I told them they have to make sure and inform the fire department and our police department that, you know, that's going to be blocked off there for those 3 days. Let's see. And that's about it right now. So we're progressing and we're pretty much on time.
Was sidewalks part of the original
Yes.
agreement? Are they replacing all the sidewalks?
No,
or just
no,
as
just
needed?
the as needed.
And what constitutes as needed on that?
Well, if they're cracked, if they're bulged up, if they're turned, stuff like that. You got some of them down there that sort of angle them out like that. They would,
Okay,
you
everywhere.
know, yeah, so they're gonna replace those.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yep.
What about, when do you think you're gonna start paving?
And then after they mill it off and, you know, get things done. I have no idea.
You have no timeline?
No timeline on paper.
The curb and gutter would have to be done first,
Yeah.
but they're gonna start milling out.
You know, that's the
in
question we
phase.
get, you know, they don't ask, you know, when this or that, they wanna know when it's gonna be open, you know.
Well, the end date of the project is July 3rd, so it'll be before that.
So the milling date should start in another couple, 2 weeks, maybe at most?
I'd say, yeah, sometime in
2 to 3?
June.
Or June, yeah, okay.
I'd say sometime in June,
All
yeah.
right.
And that's after the culvert goes in, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how do people get their mail now?
Right now, they have the boxes out in front of their houses, but they've got to be taken off because they got to put the culvert down there.
But the mailman can't go through there.
Yes,
You
they
know,
can.
yes, he can.
Yeah, the mail can.
But this, Kevin, this
All
bank
services.
at the end of the project would make it much easier on the paper.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
He just pulls up and
Right
he's
there.
got
Yep.
30 mailboxes,
Right.
he's just.
Yep.
That's what we're gonna have in the end, we're gonna have it similar to what we have in the subdivision.
No, this is a temporary,
Just temporary, okay.
Yeah, just
they
temporary.
have to remove the mailboxes, they'll give them to the people,
Right.
and they'll be put back in by the company when the project's done.
Yeah, you can't just change more delivery. Can't do that. I know that. How many years of experience?
Is that 30 or 40 years too, Mike?
Yeah, 35 years.
35 years, good. Well, thanks for your service. Thanks, Mr. Ballard. Naturally, we're going to go now to the new business, which is well house number 6, proposals.
Okay, one of the priorities for the water department for this year was to resheathe and reside well house number 6. It's, I don't know how old the siding on it is now, but it's starting to deteriorate fairly rapidly. You can put your finger through some of the siding. And so it's in the budget for this year. We, last couple meetings, we talked a little bit about that, and most recently we sent out to 10 to 11, I can't remember exactly what the number was, local or area siding companies or folks that'll do that type of a work. We've got one that came back undeliverable. I guess the company moved with no forwarding address, and we received 1 bid. So I'll go ahead and open that now. 2 components to it. One, they've got to meet all of the requirements in the invitation to bid. We'll let Jeff take a peek at that. And the other one is that they've got to be under the price that we had established. So we'll see where we go here.
Well, house number 6 is the one that I live right there behind you.
So this is from ABG North Construction Company.
ABG
ABG, it appears.
North.
North Construction Company. Mailing addresses from Armada, so that's great. And the lump sum bid is within the price that we had established in the budget. So,
That was what?
I'm sorry?
How much was that, Rob?
7,500.
It was 7,500,
Right.
so it's a good price. So I would move to award the bid to ABG North Construction for installation of new siding on well house number 6 for a not to exceed amount of $7,500, subject to the bid meeting the stipulations of the invitation to bid.
What's the amount they bid though? That's the amount that you prefer not to exceed.
Understand. $3,350.
And you want to say, all right, wait, wells number 6 for the not to exceed amount of $3,350. Pending or subject
to the bid meeting the stipulations of the invitation to bid. So that's for the insurance and liability and so on.
What is their start and completion date?
I'm trying to remember what we had that as.
I think you said about a week after award.
Yes, the, let me see, just,
That's
I
when
should
we
have
sure
gone over
you
that.
can meet those dates.
I'll support.
Can we
Is
just,
that you, Lyle?
Yeah, I'm gonna,
we should add to that, I think there is a contract that Marv and you are going to need to sign.
we had said within 2 to 3 days that we would get this back out to the company and just for the completion.
So can I add on the end of your motion and to allow the president and clerk to sign on the village's behalf?
Yes, please.
So Ross, what we'll have to do then is, I don't know if Michelle's going to notify them or you, but we should get that contract out for them to sign, get their insurance and,
Yes.
as you said, all the specifications that they need to.
Right.
Okay with you, Lyle, too?
Yep.
All right, so we have a motion and support. Is involving money, we're gonna have a roll call on it, please.
Belkey?
Yes.
Ballard?
Yes.
Sledds?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Conan?
Yes.
Bullock?
Yes, motion carried. You now see this is a lot, it's playing catch up with us that something hasn't been done in the past. All right, so the next is the ADA website compliance, please. Michelle?
Okay, as discussed during the budget, and I budgeted for it this year, and I don't remember the law that was just passed, I don't remember the number, I apologize, but a law was passed that municipal websites need to be ADA compliant. So I had contacted our website company and asked them to just take a look at ours to see how non-compliant it is. And there's a lot of things that need to be fixed, a lot of things that need to be changed. I don't know what that means aesthetically for the website. But to go through it right now and get everything up to date was $800. We could also enter into some kind of agreement where they would check it monthly and then we'd have to pay. And I said, no, I'd rather just get it, ours and the police, in one shot. And maybe in a year or two, we'll send it back and have them do it again. I think in the long run, that's gonna be more economic than to pay them every month. The police upgrades can be paid out of salvage title, you know, ours will be paid out of the general fund. But for $800, I just foresee this being something where some group just goes through and sues every little municipality they can get their hands on that is not compliant, so.
But have you talked to other municipalities that?
Pardon me?
Have you talked to any other municipalities that are going through this?
Not yet.
Okay.
But I guess the law was, I wish I would have had that, I'm sorry that I don't. I believe the law passed in 2017, and then 2018, like last year, is when you started seeing people starting to look at it and starting to act on it. Our website is not really elaborate, it's not huge, it's, it's not like it's, that much to do it, but they did give us contracts to sign as a client, which we'd have to add to let me sign on there. But that's where we're at. I just figured let's get on this before it becomes a bigger issue, because it's going
What
to.
are they going to do to make it compliant?
Well, I'm not, that's another thing. Now, certain colors don't work, certain font sizes don't work, certain,
So it,
Americans with Disability Act.
Probably
so they're changing things to make it visually better.
Yes,
for-
well, and like your photograph, like pictures on there, they have to be able to run a reader over their screen. And instead of it just saying photos here, it would say there's a photo of downtown Armada, or there's a photo of Actos, or, something like that. I'm not sure all of obviously, I did not build the website, I just add to it. So, I figure put this in the hands of the people that did it, and I thought that was a fair price. So, like I said, I had it.
To know, because that changes some of the answers on the Part 2 application. On the
Really?
SRF.
Why does that have anything to do with the SRF?
Did you?
No. I didn't
Michelle,
have it.
this is $800 each.
Yes, each, yes.
Okay.
And if you could add on the end, allow the clerk to sign them, they'll just be happy, that'd be great.
Okay, Mr. President, I'll move to allow a revise to update the village and police websites to become ADA compliant for a cost not to exceed $800 each, to be paid for from general and salvage title funds respectively, and authorize the clerk to sign on behalf of the village.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion?
Was that you, Chris?
Chris, yes. Dean, so it's money, roll call please.
Ballard?
Yes.
Sleds?
Yes.
Elke?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Tonin?
Yes.
Bullock?
Yes, motion carried. Next is the Colonial Street lift station hatch. This is Commissioner Clark's department again, please.
Yes, I've got, we've talked about this for a number of months now. It's become kind of it is a safety issue back there. So we talked about putting in a new concrete cap along with a new hatch, and redoing some of the venting. That's a trip hazard down there. Looking at this, Jet has two different prices here. And then we have the one from T.H. Eifert. In looking closely at the jets, it is a good price, but if you will look at the second page of clarifications, in bold print, it says, "Jet pump assumes that sidewalk will be removed and replaced by others." Now, Eifert was going to do all that as one. I did talk to Ed. I asked him if he would be able to remove the sidewalk, and then they do the work, and then redo the new sidewalk over it. And Ed says he does not have the time to do it. They're behind. So going back to that, I like the price of Jet. Jet has done a lot of work down there. Do we take Jet's price and then we maybe contact, is it D&E, who's been doing some of our sidewalks, Lyle? And
Yeah.
see if they could maybe do that, so we will have it. The price for Jet won't be the complete
No.
price.
Correct.
We would still have to have the concrete work done. And I did some quick figuring. I would go for the option one from Jet for the 89,470. And we would save from the Eifert over $3,500. And I would think we could probably get that concrete done for,
Less than 3,500, I would
well,
hope.
I would think $1,000.
Yeah, you're talking.
We're probably at the most talking maybe 3 flags.
Three flags,
of
yeah.
cement.
That's enough, man.
So if you guys feel comfortable with that, it's one more company to get involved, but it seems like they can turn around and do this stuff fairly quick. The first thing is to get the flags removed, so when Jet comes in there, they're able to do their work, get out of there, and then we can go back in and then finish with the sidewalk. I don't know, does everybody feel comfortable with
Sure.
that?
Sounds good.
And you have dealt with the company with Jet quite a bit.
Yeah, the guys like Jet. Jet has done a lot of the work there at the lift station. I mean, Eifert is more than qualified, but for $3,500, I think I can get a lot of cement work.
All right, okay.
If you guys feel
Sure.
good with that.
Sure.
You wanna make
So,
a motion?
well, I will make the motion. I move to approve the proposal from Jet Pump and Valve LLC in the not-to-exceed amount of $8,947.21 to replace the hatch over the Colonial Lift Station.
Support?
Moved and supported. Any further discussion?
Glad to get it fixed.
Been a long time coming.
Yes,
Well, we get rid of that snow fence and all the
Yeah.
ugliness, and it's a safety factor.
yes, right. Well, we always have to be after something, so, excuse me. Roll call, please.
Clark,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes?
Sleds,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes, motion carried.
no, Conan, Shaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been calling you last all
I'm
night.
sorry, David.
I call you
We'll
last.
we'll give you a chance.
I'll get with Ed, and he's had contact with D&E, the one job where they're replacing the curb and sidewalk, and we'll just kind of add to the list of projects.
This one I did.
Thank you guys.
We talked about it, you know.
Okay.
It's done by papers.
Okay, the next one is a DPW employment agreement
Yeah, just from
proposal. Council, you have a copy of a contract here which Michelle has gone over with our attorney Jeff. And have you had a chance to look at it? Any concerns or questions of Michelle or our attorney?
Well, first of all, Jeff, in fairness, Jeff and I we've been looking at this for months, and Jeff had prepared one, and I talked to him about it today. Because instead of like sick time, vacation time, we talked about doing like paid time off. But I told him, at this point, because everybody just had their contracts approved, I'd rather wait and do that all at once if that's something that council wants to move forward the next time we do negotiations. If you want to change that to paid time off, that would be the time to do it. I didn't want to bring somebody in new with something different. And the nuts, I've always felt that the nuts and bolts of the contract need to be the same. This is the contract to present to whomever we hire in the DPW in 6 months. This is not a probationary contract, this is the contract to be offered. So if you guys, if you haven't had a chance to read through it, if you're more comfortable bringing it back, we can bring it back.
Was the original double-sided?
Yeah, missing some pages.
Are you kidding? Well, then we'll bring it back. How's that? Yes,
All the even numbered.
it was. Yes, it was.
And I got all that.
You know what?
I got it.
I hate
Does
that
anyone have the even
double-sided,
numbers?
I hate the double-sided
Trade,
copy.
there you go.
I just do. Well, all right, you don't need to have any action on it. I can get you the full copy. We have time, but since we've been talking about hiring somebody, I just thought it was important to get this going, because I didn't want to be 6 months into their employment and then be going, oh crap, we gotta come up with a contract.
Have they started,
That's the next agenda item.
Next item, yeah.
And we'll just touch on that. But these, I will bring this back, maybe I'll bring this back when we have somebody to bring back and present to council, but I'll get you the full copy. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, I hate that double-sided copier, I just do.
All right, so that will be brought back at the next meeting,
Yep,
and we will move forward to the DPW employee position offer. Michelle, did you want to address that?
Again, I know that Ed has held a few interviews. I don't know that, I'm sure that a decision has not been made because I've not been asked to, bring something back for you guys to hire. I was very hopeful with this agenda, that's why it's in here. I did not see Ed today, unfortunately, so I didn't even get a chance to ask him.
I know, I said in one interview.
Well, and that's,
I said it in two.
And he was gonna, after I left him, he went through some paperwork, and there were 2 more people he thought he was gonna call.
yeah. So I don't know where we're at on it right now, but I don't know, I know you guys.
I would encourage it to be done at the next meeting. We've waited long enough. And the thing is that there's much work that can be done with another employee. So that will be brought back next month on the agenda.
Are we still holding the position open for applications? Or do you want to close that?
Well, that's closer.
Well, that would be close because he's got quite a few of mine.
Okay, we'll take the sign down up front, people
Yeah.
coming in and
And he has about, what, 10 or something, is it?
I think he ended up with more than that, didn't he?
but they're not all qualified,
Yeah,
so.
Right.
well, and I do know that he did make phone calls to some of them in the beginning, once you set the wage, and I think 3 or 4 of them just weren't even interested in the wage, so.
Okay, well, that'll be brought next meeting. That
Okay.
is next week, by the way.
Yeah, next Monday,
20.
How many employees do we have now?
2
Two.
DPW,
Yeah, they're shorthanded, sir.
yeah.
So it takes a while, and then if there's a day off like on Monday, there's one guy, so that's not safe.
Correct.
When they gotta use a chipper, or they gotta use this or use that,
They can't.
they can't do it. And then even if there's a water break line or something like that, we're gonna probably have to call in a company to do the water line break, which we hope not.
Yeah, well, he was fixing,
Church
water
Street.
break at Church Street on Saturday, so.
Yeah,
What's that?
yeah, so
Yeah,
that's why I
call
say,
somebody in.
it's
that a
as
supply
such,
line?
we
Was
do
that a
try to
supply
save
line?
the
No, it was a house lead.
Mostly.
Yes.
So we do try to save the residents money with their tax monies. So everybody understands that. So it's not that we want to get a company in here that may charge more.
Safety first.
Okay, we
Safety
will
first,
remove the
right,
up
sir.
water sign first thing in the morning.
yeah,
Right.
that's a good idea.
Yes.
I'll take it off the website, well,
Take the sign down. Okay.
What did I do?
yeah.
I lost my page.
You're a building inspector.
Building inspector.
Building inspector.
No, I lost it here. What did I do? Well, give me yours. The next is the building inspector appointment, yes, which will expire November 25th, 2019. So this is our recommendation right now, and this is due with our old inspector also, talking with this particular person, and so he's recommending that we do that to me as such, and also the clerk. So the thing is, I am entertaining this motion for the council.
Mr. President, I'll resolve to confirm the President's appointment of Gary Mortis as building inspector expiring on November 25th, 2019.
Support. Even though he's a Marine? Even though he was a
Don't
Marine?
Yeah.
hold that against
That's
him.
right.
Don't hold that against him.
Right next
There
door.
I found
Oh,
it.
it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
Does it get to
All
the
right,
south?
so
yes.
the thing is, we have the motion supported. What is any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Work out
And
the
the
tape.
next is a code enforcer appointment. We have a letter to that effect also, and that is Thomas Irvin. Let me see here, something. Oh, where in the world I put this again?
Building inspector.
Okay, this is to inform you that Thomas Irvin,
I didn't because, I don't know that we've been doing that lately, but,
that's probably because Dennis filmed both.
yeah. We could do that, just put the same date?
Yeah, same location.
Okay.
I think I feel better that way.
Okay,
Lose track of it.
all right.
what date is it?
So expiring on November 25th,
Yes.
2019.
Does he live in a village, or does he
He
have to?
doesn't have to, no,
Okay.
he's just.
Okay.
He done.
Well, he used to
Did,
live over here,
I don't
but
know
he
if
sold.
he's, oh, I think he's there,
Right by the creek.
yeah.
This one here is over here by the creek on Prospect Street of the code enforcer and blade officer. Excuse me. So, this is Thomas Irvin. What is the council's wishes to this?
Mr. President, I move to appoint Thomas Urban as code enforcer in and for the village of Armada, expiring on November 25th, 2019.
Support.
Yeah. Well, also, we should probably consider the retainer fee, which was I think it was $250 a month. Some of the council members have talked with me on that, and we are under the impression that we have a new person, we should have that lowered.
I have to agree with you, Mr. President. I believe that Dennis was with us for how many years?
Before I got here 25 years ago.
Yeah. So,
But does Mr. Urban know?
Yeah, I don't know, not offering the same, I don't know.
well,
Well, the thing is, I think it's part of our right to do so when we have a new person, to bring in somebody new.
I believe you're correct.
So,
Mr. President.
Do we want to talk to him though, and then can we send
Well,
him?
I would make the motion and then just tell him, and if he doesn't want to accept it, we can
So
bring it back to the table.
November of 2019.
19.
Yeah, so you're only talking 5 months.
Right.
right.
We can always reissue on it.
So, we can set the, fee along with this one, and then the other one as such too.
Well, the building inspector gets paid by building permits. This is the only one that gets the retainer.
Well, it's kind of a difficult job.
175.
The code enforcer, we know the problems that Dennis had at times enforcing our ordinances and things. So I don't think you should reduce it too much.
I don't know.
Who would wanna do it?
And he's the only one in the county.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that, when we have a new person too, but, you know, there's been some problems that Dennis has had. And naturally, not everybody likes a code enforcer or a building inspector or a plumbing
Nobody
inspector or whatever inspector we have. You know, so the thing is that's why I say maybe it's good that it is changing. So that's why, I'm sort of encouraging it. Even if we go down $50, $75, whatever the council feels, but I think we should cut that.
Mr. President, I will so move that the retainer fee for the code enforcement be set at $150 per month.
It's $250 now?
It's $250 now.
$250.
Why don't we, rather than have two motions, why don't we kind of merge those two together?
Yeah, just merge them
All right,
together.
so, all right.
To appoint him at a retainer fee of $150.
All right, stand by 1 second. All right, so I'll revise my motion to read to, motion to appoint Thomas Urban?
Urban.
Sorry, Tom. As code enforcer in and for the village of Armada at a retainer fee of $150 a month, expiring on 25 November 2019.
Wait. Didn't you do the original motion?
No,
Ross.
You did? Wow, I had that wrong. I'm sorry. I
I
had
think
Valerie
we changed
down.
it.
He supported.
Clerk support.
Clark supported.
Wow.
Sorry again.
Yeah, you wrote that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand Bulky, but who,
All right,
So you still support that, Steve?
No.
I'll support it.
moved and supported.
So,
Any further discussion?
Listen, does that mean that's his pay?
That's
Yes.
a retainer fee.
Yeah.
$150 a month?
Per
Yeah,
month.
How many calls a month do they average?
it depends.
Depends.
Yeah.
Might be done.
Might be, yeah.
from nothing to 3 or 4?
The code enforcer
Maybe.
sometimes finds the problems. That's
Yeah,
right.
they also go to court, they also
Yeah.
take care of all the paperwork for that, they issue the tickets.
Too low.
I wouldn't do it for 150.
All right, so,
About 200, maybe we should go 200.
well, the motion's on the floor, I mean, unless Jerome wants.
We have a motion, we got
Open
a
for discussion or?
discussion.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to discuss 200.
Yeah, I feel 150 is.
You want
yeah,
200?
It's too low.
I think it's too low.
I agree,
I agree.
I don't vote, but,
I mean, 200 sounds better than 150, and it's still less than 250. We're in the middle.
Which was our president's original recommendation.
Which two?
What's 200?
So, yes, like I say, that would be much better than
Would you reconsider the motion
Yeah, I
to
would-
200?
I would amend it.
Mr. Belkey?
I would amend it. Is 200 sound reasonable to you?
Yeah, that's why I wasn't gonna support the
All right.
150.
And I'll support it too.
Okay.
Then the,
oh my God, it's so bad.
It's now, it's Belky and Ballard.
Belkin and Ballard is right.
Still Belkey, Ballard.
I know,
you want me to read it over again?
No, we got it.
Just put in the 200.
Jeff, I'm calling you tomorrow to see how
Going
to
for
do
5
this, 'cause
times.
this is crazy.
$200 and that's all.
200.
Cross out the 150.
I did, and no, so it's Belkey and Clark?
Belky and Ballard.
Now,
Ballard still
do it.
thank you.
Clark refused
Okay.
to support.
No, but
He
he
changed it to 200.
agreed to the
He agreed,
200,
right.
so, but it's still gonna be
Yeah,
done.
that's
Lyle said he would still.
Okay,
go
thank
with
you.
Yes, so,
Okay,
the motion is as such, and so, we're gonna call for a roll call on this because it's involving money.
Belkey,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Wolak,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. The wood chipper opening, who has that? Does
I do.
Doyle have
Do you
it?
want to open it?
Yes, I will.
We only received one,
One bid.
yeah, just one bid.
This was dated April 16th.
Yeah, he turned that in early.
This is from Larry Schwartz, from Larry Services. He bids $1,100 for chipper. He initialed it April 16th,
I'll
19th.
move to accept the bid from Larry's Automotive for the 200-plus gasoline wood chipper in the amount of $1,100.
Support.
Moved and
I'm
supported.
giving that to you, Mike.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Huh?
The minutes.
Yeah, we got the minutes and then we gotta add something on.
You got I, and J, yeah.
That was aye.
Yes, sir. Aye.
So what is it, council?
Ross just wanted to add something in, but I'm gonna let him add it.
I'm gonna try to go back to it. We were talking about a business owner's recommendation to put signage up by the trail, near the trail. Comment was in the minutes that said that Ben Delecki had approached the Trail Commission about that some number of years ago, and they said, no, we don't want anything on the trail right away. Just would like to have a note in there that says that we're not necessarily looking for it to be on the trail right away, it could be on village property as well. There's some pieces of village property down there in the area of the trail, and.
That's not, that, we didn't say that.
Ross did,
I
he
said
said it.
I
He
just
did
want-
say it, but it wasn't, I didn't put it in.
Right.
But I can't put that. So it's like you need to condense that into something I can put in. It says it was pointed out that Ben Delecki attempted this many years ago and was not allowed to do so by the Trail Commission. Do you want to say, Belkey suggests putting it on village property?
Sounds good, let's do it,
In the area.
in the area.
Where's the village?
Put it
Got
in-
the old well property with the water tower and so
Yeah.
on, so.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good idea to get the signage down there somewhere. It doesn't have to be on rails, the trail property.
All right, so we're adding in Belkey suggests putting it on village property.
Yeah.
We'll put a
In the
comma,
area.
In the area.
or, okay,
Or in there.
or in the area.
Yes.
So we'll just put a comma after, by the Trail Commission, Belkey suggests putting, okay.
Right, yeah, it was something to that effect.
Okay, well, that's, all right.
Yeah.
I just couldn't put what you said.
All right.
I'll move to approve the minutes as amended.
Second. It's all on.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
So,
Now we need a
motion to amend.
Amended, okay. What is it?
Jeff, before we do that, I've got a question too. That's always the risk of opening these things live and then trying to go through them really quickly. There's an addition, an option in the bid for $200. I'd like to include that in the total price because I like to consider it. So the price was $33.50. I'd like to make it $35.50 so that we don't have to come back later and potentially amend this if we decide to go with that option.
Can we do that at the next meeting? Can we amend it at the next meeting if he brings it back?
do it tonight.
You do it tonight?
He's gotta get that contract out of that. So just,
Man, you're coming on phone with me.
yeah, so Ross, we need a motion to amend,
The not to exceed
no,
price.
well, what item was that? That was
That was,
3A.
All right,
3A.
so,
So you'll need to make a motion to amend the motion adopted under 3A
motion adapted under 3A.
Sounds good to me.
to increase the
Not to
not to
exceed
exceed
price
amount
From-
To increase the not to exceed amount
from $3,350, $3,350 to $3,550.
What's the $200 for, Ross?
It's, there's an offer to put Tyvek on the
Oh,
building.
Tyvek, yeah, you got it.
Makes too much sense to me.
Oh, he had asked about that.
Yeah, you want to put the Tyvek.
Okay, so you have,
Okay.
Michelle, just if you could read Ross's new motion.
Motion to amend the motion adapted under 3A to increase the not to exceed amount from $3,350 to $3,550.
Support.
Okay, support by Ballard. Any further discussion? If not, we have to have
Does that have to be a roll?
roll call, it's money.
Spending more, $200 more.
Belkey,
Yes, please.
Bailey,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes.
Okay, now we need a
Alright,
motion,
motion.
we need a motion to add items J and K to the agenda. You have
Oh, is
two,
it
Joe.
just one or?
Is it just one, Joe, or is it?
Well, we have two, same topic. We have
Okay,
the
then
two engagement
You
letters.
just want to do, let's say the J. Just need someone to make a motion.
So wait, so do we say, all right, motion to add item J and a item title?
Yes.
Engagement letters from Benzinski and J and S.
This is a
And
letter you
this is
have,
Yep.
this is a letter you have from May 10th.
Well, let's get the motion.
Yeah, and S and P.
Yeah.
So, all right, so engage, all right, so, all right, motion to add item J, engagement letters from Benzinski and S and J. For,
Assessments.
what?
The engagement letters to proceed with the bond.
To proceed with the wastewater treatment bond?
The SRF bond.
With, yeah, there you go. All right,
So we need that motion.
yeah, so somebody needs to make that.
And J and S is to proceed with the, no, Benzinski is the bond. J and S is the credit rating assessment, is a qualifying issue for the bond.
Okay, so I don't, all right, so what do you want me to say? So J and S for a credit,
To add them go forward with the credit rate assessment, which will qualify us for.
well, this is just for the,
Yeah, this
this
isn't
is
the
just
motion.
for the,
This is
just
just
for
to
the
amend
title
it.
of
Yeah.
it,
That's
so,
what it's
yeah.
gonna be,
so for credit, all right,
rating assessment.
rating assessment, there you go.
I'm so moved.
I'll support.
Stephen Lyle.
Right, very good.
All in favor?
Always
Any further discussion?
go.
No, okay, let's go.
You need a roll call on that, right?
No, we don't need a roll
Oh,
call.
you don't.
No, no, this is not spending money.
Oh,
So, you're right,
Just
okay.
add something when we get into the issue, we'll go.
All right,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Hey,
the
Joe,
first,
why don't you do Benzinski first and we'll vote on that and then
Yeah.
we'll do the.
it's gonna be simple. First one is Benzinski and Company. They are municipal finance advisors, and we use them on our past bonds that we've issued. And this is an engagement letter that allows them to go forward and start processing the documents to apply for that bond. And their cost will be about 20, no, well, this is for 19,200. We, in part one of the SRF application, we already approved for the user charge and rate methodology of 4,500, so they haven't billed us for anything. They don't normally until after the bond is issued. So we've already approved the 4,500. Tonight you'll be approving the $19,200.
We approved that 4,500.
Yes, we did, in the part one of the application.
So
We are
whoever's
now
making
looking
the
into
motion,
part
here's
two.
the motion.
to
To authorize approval of engagement letter by the treasurer here.
move to, motion to authorize approval of engagement letter by the treasurer at a cost of $19,200 for bond issuance.
Second.
And that does authorize me to sign the document.
And authorize Joe to sign, or the treasurer to sign the document.
Okay.
Second.
And if I can have that back. Do you want to put a cost in there?
I already did, 19,000.
In the motion?
Yes,
it is.
Did it?
Right there.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't have it.
There's a motion, he just wrote it for you.
He didn't write it, Joe.
Supported by,
Shaw. Yep.
yes,
Roll call on it.
Ballard.
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes.
Belkey.
Yes.
Sledds.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Conan.
Yes.
Wolak.
Yes, motion carried. At this time, the up and coming agenda items.
No, one more.
We got the,
S&J.
Credit rate.
Credit rate assessment.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that engagement letter is pretty much the same thing in part two of the SRF application. We have to have a credit rate assessment done, which simply verifies that we have the financial means and we have the ability to pay back the bond. And that's with S&J. Oh, S&P, I'm sorry. I just wrote down S&J too. S&P. And their cost is $9,375. And it does require authorization for signatures from the treasurer and the street commissioner.
Sewer commissioner.
Sewer commissioner.
You pointed right at
Yeah, I
Steve,
pointed
okay.
right at him. It says
Yeah, you did.
signature.
Yeah, right, I'll
You thought you
keep signing
fired,
the
huh,
papers, huh?
She has another one made up, whoever wants to do it.
You did.
Ross
I was gonna say Ross is closer.
Make a motion to approve to go forward with S&P Global Ratings to complete a credit assessment at a cost of $9,375 and instruct the treasurer to sign the agreement.
And the sewer commissioner.
So it's treasurer and sewer
And
commissioner.
sewer commissioner.
Support.
Moved and supported.
The company is Global Assessments?
Yeah.
What's the name? It's cost us $9,000 so they could tell them that we can pay the bond. $9,000?
We're the wrong business.
Yes, we are.
Sounds like it's a very high fee.
Well, you gotta have them.
I mean, what did they do? Go through our previous bonds that we've been paying our bills?
They're gonna go through a lot of things. They're gonna go through debt, past bonds, open credit. When you're putting a bond out
They
there.
essentially guarantee our credit worthiness.
Yes.
So we're putting their backing by us.
You have a document that tells you what all they do.
Yeah, there's about 6 pages.
Which seems very asinine sometimes, is duplication all the time,
Yeah.
with a municipality. And it's something that we have to stand. It's very pitiful.
Otherwise, it doesn't get done.
Okay, so it's been moved and supported, so involving money, so the thing is roll call, please.
Belkey,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Wolof,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes.
Motion carried. So now I guess I can go with the up and coming agenda items. Council have any?
Well, we're gonna bring back the DPW contract and, hopefully employee.
Yes. We stated that already. And also now is next is the citizen comments. The floor is open up, state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes to address an issue.
Did you get anything? I have one thing. Good evening, council. My name is Kevin Brand, and I'm a resident. Just want to have a quick question on 3B, and maybe I misunderstood the procedural rules in the back of the agenda for tonight. But is that a mandate from the state of Michigan, or is that a federal mandate?
It's a public act. I'm not sure, Jeff, do you know?
It was public act in that state.
ADA is federal.
Federal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
ADA's,
ADA is federal.
ADA is federal, but the public act that mandated this specifically did that come from Lansing or
Yeah,
Washington?
I don't know off the top of my head. It's been, like I said, it's been 2017. We'll have to get that for you.
Well, the reason I was asking where it came from was, I would also respectfully remind this council that if it did come from Lansing, the Michigan Constitution is very clear. Anything that the state legislature mandates, municipalities in the state of Michigan, the state of Michigan has to pay for it. And that's located under Article 9, Section 25 of the Michigan Constitution. So if we do have something in the future where we have any state mandates that we're required to do something, I would definitely recommend getting a hold of our state representative or our state senator first before we expend any money from the general fund to pay for a mandate from Lansing that Lansing should be paying for themselves. Thank you for your time.
Very good.
Thanks.
Our
Who
main
knows
residents
this
will
kind
thank
of
us.
stuff?
Apparently he did.
Good, very
And it's
good.
easily verifiable too. I'm sure Mr. Corsi can look it up real quick.
There's been a lot of lawsuits. In fact, there's one pending on the state mandates without providing the funding, but unfortunately, it's had some mixed results over the years, these types of challenges. But couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's typically how they've operated for a long time. Either they take away local control, or once they take it, they make you pay for whatever they decide to do.
Yeah.
It's a vicious circle, unfortunately.
Thank you. All right. No one else? All right, the council comments at this time?
That should have been upcoming events, but the parks, we have all the contracts in for the upcoming concerts. And I've been fixing up the park a little bit, like the door, I tried to shore it up, painted it. Got some mulch from Ed, so. And I think Kent's supposed to cut the lawn. I talked to Mr. Kent, they're just way behind. He said they're so far behind, as everybody knows it's bad, so.
Thank you. Community events?
Armada jams can't start soon enough.
All right.
All right. We don't have a closed session tonight. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment, please.
Time is 8:24. I move to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
All right.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.